Cold Moon Shimmer. Chapter 1 Tenderness in the Shadows. The courtyard of the Qin family's mansion is deep, and the fallen leaves are flying on the stone road, reflecting the slanting afternoon sun. Jiling stood in a corner of the courtyard, her eyes passed through the heavy vermilion gate, staring at the house she loved so much but never really belonged to her. In her hand, she held a carefully wrapped gift box with a lilac ribbon tied to it, which she had been carefully sewing and assembling for several days. Jiling took a deep breath and prepared to step into that door to welcome the birthday of the man she cared about the most, Qin Moan. Qin Moan is the only son of the Qin family, and he is also the existence of the eyes cooling and shining in Jiling's heart. Raised in the Qin family since she was a child, Jiling's identity is far inferior to that of this wealthy son. Her love is like a flower in a valley, blooming silently and no one is watching. Neighbors always laughed at her for overestimating her own strength, saying that Qin Moan only had someone else in his heart, the white moonlight that had already occupied the depths of his memory, Lin Qinjia. She believed that she had seen Qin Mohan's occasional tenderness, and she firmly believed that under the veil of his indifference, there was a heart that belonged to her. However, when she secretly approached the closed door, a sentence pierced into her heart like an ice blade in the cold winter. I really don't feel for the heroine. Qin Mohan's low voice had an unquestionable coldness. Bai Yueguang's laughter was soft and sweet. That's why you chose me, didn't you? Jiling stood there in a daze, the gift in her hand trembled slightly, and the whole world seemed to lose its color in an instant. Chapter 2 Broken Dreams. That night, Jiling hid alone under the wisteria trellis in the backyard of the Qin family, tears falling silently. The warmth and protection she once fantasized about turned out to be a self-deceptive dream. She repeatedly recalled the past, Qin Mohan's gaze, the occasional softness. Was it her wishful thinking or delusion? The next day, Qin Mo was as cold as usual, as cold as ice, and seemed to have not noticed Jiling's collapse. Where did you go yesterday? He asked coldly. Jiling fought back tears and replied softly, It's okay, I just want to be quiet for a while. She didn't dare to tell him. She heard the piercing words. She tried to exchange more effort and more dedication for a response, but Qin Mohan's heart was still closed. Chapter 3 The Heart of the Countercurrent. Jiling did not give up. She still stayed by Qin Mohan's side, taking care of the details of his life, resolving family disputes for him, and silently enduring ridicule and pressure from the outside world. Sometimes, she would see Qin Mohan's unknown vulnerability, the fingertips gently tapping the keys late at night, the hidden childhood trauma, and at that moment she knew that he was not hard-hearted. One day, she overheard Qin Moan talking to the housekeeper in a low voice. Qinjia. It's not what I want at all. Jiling's heart shocked slightly. Could it be that he was actually forced to choose Bai Yueguang? Chapter 4 The undercurrent is turbulent. Just when Jiling thought that love had a dawn, there was a hidden crisis within the Qin family. The power struggle between the Qin family and the elders intensified, and Lin Qinjia's family was involved in a powerful business group, and their intervention put Qin Moan in many traps. Jiling became a scapegoat and was accused of trying to destroy family ties. You are not worthy of him at all. Lin Qinjia sneered at a banquet, and everyone's eyes were like arrows. Jiling faced everyone's ridicule, but did not flinch. She stood firmly beside Qin Moan, letting the wind and rain invade. Chapter 5 The Truth is Gloomy. Qin Moan was gradually revealed to his true emotional contradictions. It turned out that he had never really liked Lin Qinjia, and that entangled emotion was the result of the family's arrangement. The only thing he cared about in his heart was Jiling, who was waiting silently and willing to bear everything for him. When Jiling appeared in front of him again, Qin Mohan's eyes suddenly became soft. Why are you still here? He asked. Jiling's answer was calm but firm, Because I believe in you, whether you want to or not, I will protect you. Chapter 6 Untie the Knot. After a family storm, Qin Moan decided to open his sincerity and cut off his entanglement with Lin Qinjia. The two faced doubts and pressure from the outside world together and began to try to find their own path. Jiling is no longer the silent shadow, she has gradually become stronger and independent, and has become Qin Mohan's most solid backing. They begin to learn to communicate in sincere language, breaking down the ice walls that have been built in each other's hearts for years. Chapter 7 The Sun After the Wind and Rain. The days passed slowly, and the relationship between Jiling and Qin Moan became deeper and deeper. The Qin family also spent the darkest moment because the two of them joined hands and regained their former glory. Jiling held the gift that had been rejected in her hand and whispered in Qin Mohan's ear. This gift is for those who are truly willing to open my heart. Qin Moan smiled slightly and hugged her into his arms. Linger, I finally understand that some love must wait for it to grow slowly. In the afterglow of the sunset, their figures depend on each other, and the glimmer of the cold moon reflects the hope of the future. Chapter 8 Trials in the Fog. Although the turmoil in the Qin family has temporarily stopped, Jiling's heart has never been at peace. She knew that the real test had just begun. Qin Mohan's world is far more complex than she imagined, and behind every layer of smile, there are unrevealed scars and secrets. One morning, Jiling received an unsigned letter. The letter contained only a few short sentences. Do you think you know him? It's darker than you think. Want to know? Come to the old warehouse in the east of the city, midnight. With her heart beating rapidly, Jiling did not hesitate and decided to go. At midnight, the old warehouse in the east of the city was gloomy and empty, surrounded by thick fog. She walked in, footsteps echoing through the empty warehouse. Suddenly, a figure flashed and said coldly, "You shouldn't get involved in these." Jiling recognized it as Qin Mohan's cousin, Qin Xian, the most mysterious and feared figure in the family. His past is far more entangled and dangerous than you know. Qin Xian's eyes flashed with warning and coldness. I'm not afraid. Jiling gritted her teeth and replied, I want to protect him, no matter what the price. Qin Xian was silent for a moment, and finally handed her a photo. It was many years ago, when the young Qin Mohan took a group photo with a mysterious woman, and the woman's face was deliberately erased. This is his mother, Qin Yao. It is said that she suddenly disappeared back then, and the family deliberately hid it. Jiling's mind was shocked. How would this secret shake Qin Mohan's world? Underscore 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 un. Chapter 9: A Deep Hidden Past. Back home, Jiling began to collect all the information about Qin Yao. She discovered that this missing mother was not only a family tragedy, but also involved in the core of the Qin family's power struggle. Qin Mohan's father secretly investigated the matter, but his whereabouts were unknown. All kinds of clues point to an underground organization called Shadow Alley. Jiling decided to tell Qin Mohan the truth, but saw him frowning and his tone was low. My mother's affairs are a past that I can't face. However, Jiling knew that only by unraveling this fog could the two move towards the real future. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 10: The Ghost of the Shadow Alley. The two sneak into the Shadow Alley underground of the city, where neon lights flash and people's hearts are sinister. They saw a group of men in black, manipulating the forces of darkness like ghosts. After a dangerous chase, Qin Mohan and Jiling finally found an old man, Qin Yao's former friend. The old man revealed the truth. Qin Yao actually disappeared voluntarily to protect the family's secrets, and the clues she left behind hid the key to overthrowing the entire family conspiracy. This road is full of dangers, are you ready? The old man warned. Jiling squeezed Qin Mohan's hand, and the two nodded silently, deciding to face the darkness hand in hand. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 11: A Trial of Love and Betrayal. As the investigation deepened, the hostile forces within the Qin family felt threatened, and the conspiracy began to approach the two. At a family banquet, Lin Qinjia appeared again, her smile behind complex calculations and uneasiness. She deliberately provoked the incident and publicly questioned Jiling's identity and motives. You are just an outsider, why should you interfere in the affairs of the Qin family? Lin Qinjia said coldly. Qin Mohan stood beside Jiling unexpectedly, his eyes firm. She is the person I chose, it has nothing to do with identity, only sincerity. The atmosphere at the scene was solemn, and Jiling felt an unprecedented power, which was unprecedented support and trust. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 12: Dawn in the Dark. In the end, Qin Mohan and Jiling uncovered the mystery of Qin Yao's disappearance and also exposed the darkest secret in the family. The corrosion of power, the betrayal of family affection, and entanglements receded like a wave. The two worked together to rebuild the Qin family and restore trust and love. Jiling is no longer the girl hidden in the shadows, she uses her firm love and courage to illuminate Qin Mohan's world. They stood in the morning light, their eyes intertwined with infinite hope. Underscore 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 un. Chapter 13: The Glimmer is Eternal. Many years later, Jiling and Qin Mohan still went through the ups and downs of life hand in hand. That love that was once questioned has now become the strongest cornerstone of the family. They became irreplaceable light in each other's hearts. And the once forgotten cold moon finally turned into a glimmer of light, illuminating every step of the future. Chapter 14: On the Eve of the Storm. Although the Qin family turmoil has temporarily stopped, the undercurrent within the family has not stopped. Jiling realized that the conspiracy hidden behind the power was intensifying. One night, when she was sorting out the notes left by Qin Yao in the study, she found an obscure text. Darkness will eventually devour everything, only blood can sever fate. She understood that family grievances were not only a struggle of interests, but also involved ancient bloodline secrets. She desperately wanted to tell Qin Moen this, but found that he was becoming more and more silent, as if he was carrying an unbearable burden. Linger, there are some truths, maybe we are not ready to face them yet. Qin Moen said softly, but he couldn't hide the fatigue in his eyes. Chapter 15 The Mystery of the Bloodline. As Jiling continued to investigate, the truth gradually emerged. It turned out that the Qin family was inextricably linked with another mysterious family, and that family had guarded an ancient jade pendant for generations. This jade pendant was the key to Qin Yao's disappearance and the source of the family's secret fight. Jiling and Qin Moen decided to go to a distant place to find the whereabouts of this jade pendant and uncover the secret that had been sealed for many years. Along the way, they encounter various dangers, assassinations, tracking, traps, and even being mistaken for hostile forces. But every crisis deepens the bond between the two, and they rely on each other to become the strongest force. Chapter 16 The Secret of the Jade Pendant. Finally, in a hidden ancient temple, they found the jade pendant. The jade pendant hides the contract between the Qin family and the mysterious family, and also reveals the truth about Qin Yao's voluntary sacrifice to protect the family's secrets. This sacrifice was the unspeakable pain of Qin Mohan's father for many years. Qin Moen knelt in front of the jade pendant, clasped his hands, tears sliding down. He finally understood that his mother chose to disappear so that the family could continue to live. Jiling quietly stayed by his side, and his unspoken support was his strongest support. Chapter 17 Return and Rebirth. After returning to the Qin family, Qin Moen was determined to rewrite the future of the family and no longer let past grievances bind them. Accompanied by Jiling, he publicly announced his willingness to reconcile with his family and promote family reform. This news shocked the entire business community and family circle, but it also brought unprecedented vitality to the Qin family. Jiling became his staunchest ally, and the two faced doubts and challenges from the outside world together. Chapter 18 Each Other's Future. The love between Jiling and Qin Moen has become more indestructible in the face of many tests. The two held a simple but warm wedding, inviting their closest family and friends to witness this weathered emotion together. At the banquet, Qin Moen held Jiling's hand, his eyes full of gratitude and affection. Linger, thank you, for making me believe in love and allowing me to face the past and future bravely. Jiling smiled lightly, because of you, all suffering is worth it. The sun shines down, and they step into a new life hand in hand to welcome each other's future. Ending the cold moon turned into a glimmer. Many years later, Jiling and Qin Moen still walked side by side through the ups and downs of life. The haze of the family was dispelled, and the business empire moved forward steadily under their leadership. Jiling is no longer the girl who was lost for love, but has become the real mistress of the Qin family, elegant and strong. Qin Moen also learned to open his heart and share love and trust with her. On a starry night, they stood in the courtyard, looking at the cold moon. Linger, you are the glimmer of light in my heart, he said in a low voice. No matter how deep the darkness is, we will light up each other's world together. Jiling replied. The glimmer of light under the cold moon illuminates the two hearts and the road ahead. Postscript. A journey of love and growth. From a girl who was questioned and ignored to a woman who could bear the wind and rain, Jiling used persistence and courage to influence the cold Qin Moen and break the family's shackles. In this story, there are countless secrets and pains hidden under the indifferent appearance, and only sincerity and trust can bring each other out of the fog and turn shadows into light. May everyone who is lost in love find their own glimmer of light, persevere and face the best tomorrow.